fancy intro. Cha-cha-cha.
Welcome back, everybody. JTX Deseret here with another episode of Dawn of Man. And in this episode, we're going to go ahead and discuss what to do. We've made it to our first winter, and we're going to discuss what to do to get things going now. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my people going. The food was running low after the last episode because it didn't focus on it enough. So right now, I've got them gathering food. That's about to shoot way up there. We've already got several carcasses laying around. They're going to go and harvest. And we need to look at what to do next. Now, the next thing we want to do is when we get in here into our tech tree, we've already got bone tools, which helped us a lot for hunting, for fishing, and now we're going to need to make some composite tools. We already have as well our food drying rack, which has given us a lot of food. Before we can really get into a lot of this other stuff, say leather for tanning and our spirituality and stuff like that, we're going to want to focus on the composite tools. Now, I know the composite tools are one tier up, but instead of going through all these, like getting the sling and all that, we're only 2 away. But I want to go ahead and get some composite tools going. And the reason for the composite tools is that we will then be able to make even better stuff, including an axe. And we really need an axe. So now we've unlocked composite tools, and that will allow us to do stone polishing, flint spear, flint axe, and flint pick. So, thought that rhino was attacking. So what we can do now is we can go in here, and as you can see, we actually have flint weapons. One thing we definitely want to put on is the production of the flint axe, because we can't take down any of these trees or harvest any logs until we do that, and we will need logs. Now, we've got the bone spear going. I'm going to go ahead and take the bone spear off and have flint spears being produced, as well as bone harpoon. I thought I had turned off the wooden harpoon. I guess not. And we will go ahead and get flint picks going. Now, I want these continuously going at all times. And if you go in here in your resource limits, it will tell you how many it will make for each person. And I have it at 50% here when we start making the bows, 50% when we start making the slings. One thing I always want to make sure of is 100% with the spears. I want every single person to have a spear. We've got 50% for the fishing tools, 100% for the knives. And the reason you want 100% for the knives, spears and knives, is because any hunter can hunt as long as they have a spear. And with the knives are what they need for harvesting the animals. So you definitely want that. And always keep both your warm weather clothing and your cold weather clothing at 100%. That makes sure that you don't have to worry about people freezing to death. It will still happen occasionally, but you want to keep those at 100% to make sure they always have the proper clothing, because you will lose people due to hypothermia. Now, we've got our guy over here fishing. See, and it's got the red light bulb above this individual, and as you can see, it's from the temperature. So it's really cold outside. This guy is freezing. Even though he has his warm skins, he's freezing. So that's why it's very important to keep these clothes going, because if this guy was much further away from home, he would have frozen to death. So let's go ahead and go over here and pick one of these guys to be hunted, and then we can get back to what it is we're doing. Now, everything on here is looking pretty good. The next thing we're going to go for is the sling. That will actually allow us to hunt a little quicker, a little faster, and we will look into that. But now that I have the ability to make the axe, I want these trees cut down. And the reason for this is I want to clear out this whole area here, because now that we have a settlement set up, everything running pretty much normal, we need to think about expanding. And you need to think about how your village is going to be set up early game, because later it's going to affect where everything's located. Now, as you can see right here, I've just got everything in a little cluster, in a little circle. But as my village increases, you don't want to just keep randomly placing stuff out and have a big mess. You want to utilize, there's not a lot of land on these maps, on any of the maps. This is actually a pretty good spot because we've got this wide space over here. So you need to think about where you're going to want to place everything and how you're going to get things set up to be the most efficient. And what I was thinking, my idea is I will keep the village portion over here in this area and get everything lined out where I'll be making tools, where people will be living and all that. And then in this area, I can focus on farmland. We'll get into farmland here in a little bit, but it's going to be a very, very important thing we need to do. And I'll explain that once we get to it. And right there, we've got our food dryer going, all that food in there, our storage tank going. But I need to clear this land over here so we can go ahead and have them cut down those trees, because this area right here I want to get cleared out first, because this is going to be my basic village area setup. Let me go ahead and get this stone mining as well, because if we can get this out of here, that will help a lot as well. So you know, we have our signs, so I can go ahead and put an obtain stone sign down right there. They will harvest this. But another thing I'm going to want to do is go into manage, because they will just harvest a little bit and stop. So we need to go on here and look and see where we actually have stone. And the production limit for stone right now is 10. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this up to infinite. And if I turn it up to an infinite, that means they will continue to harvest this stone until there is none left. And right now, I'm not so much concerned with gathering stone as I am on getting this out of the way, because I want to use this area to build. So I'll go ahead and cut down this tree as well. I'll probably try to build up onto this location. Now, what I'm thinking, and the reason I'm thinking of squaring this area off, is because later down the road, if we look on here, you will have fortifications. So you'll have walls, palisades. So you need to keep that in mind. Even though we're not anywhere near over here in this area, eventually we will be. And you don't want to have to go back and destroy your entire village so that you can set it up in an efficient fashion. I tend to go more towards the Roman style, which is squared off areas, very easily to navigate to get to where you want to go. So I'm going to clear this stuff away, and what I'm thinking is probably starting right here, bringing a wall, take my wall over to here, back up here, and just have a squared off section right here in the middle for my main village. So that's what I'm looking at right now. And so from now on, anything I do in here, I'm going to plan accordingly as if that's how it was going to go. So, what are you doing, Rhino? What are you doing? Don't be coming in my village or I'll have my people kill you. Alright, one of the things we have right now, as you can see with our population, it's at 9, and our total housing is at 9. So we need to go ahead and start building more houses. Now, because I know what my setup's going to be, I'm going to keep the houses along this edge, along this side probably. So where these trees are, there'll actually be a couple of houses. So I'm going to go ahead and come up here, build a residence, build a tent, turn this around. I want them all facing the same way, so I'm probably going to run them this way. So I'll bring this up here, and I'll start making the tents like that. And I should have mentioned this before I set that down. If you hold shift while you're placing, you can place, and then it will keep in your inventory for you to place another. So we just placed 3 tents right there, and this is going to be my housing area. I'll bring those, once these are down, I'll start bringing housing up in this direction. I won't place anything over here because this is going to be saved for my living quarters. That's where I want to end up putting all of my houses and things like that. So that's going to be the area for them. Now over here next to it, I'll probably start adding. Now once these houses are built, I can start slowly removing some of this other stuff. You never want to take anything down. If you click on this, you can actually recycle it. So you can take down all your materials and get them back. But you don't want to do that until you've already got the replacement built. And the reason for that is if something happens, if a raider attack happens, or if winter rolls around, your people won't have a place for cover. And it's the same with your storage tent. Say if I want to build a couple of more storage tents, I want to wait until I have a storage tent built, because as soon as I go to recycle this, all the materials will be laid out on the ground. And let's see what the trader has for us. Right now he's got a few things, but nothing I'm really going to focus on that I really need, because right now I don't have a lot to trade. I've got some bone I can trade, but I don't think anything up there is worth it, because we're doing just fine on food and everything else. So I'm not going to worry about that. And as you can see, the person's over here building the house. And for now, I'm not going to worry about... Oh, well, here we go. We've got our knowledge built up. I will do this right quick. I'll go ahead and put on sling. That's going to be the next thing I want, because that's going to make my hunting much easier. So this is generally the order in which I do things. The top 4 first, and then I'll worry about these 3 afterwards. And I'll explain all 3 of these as we go. A lot of people have told me that they like to get dogs early on. Dogs, all that dogs do is help you defend the village. Right now at this level, there are no raider attacks, so you don't have to worry about having dogs to defend the village. So dogs are actually the last thing you need to do, because they don't help for anything. Alright, slings are basic hunting tool, so we're going to need them anyway for when we get up to archery, and they will help things go faster. So I want to make sure I go in here and turn on sling production. So now slings will be made too, as we have all these tools being made, and the slings are actually going to be a brand new item while we're still getting spears for everybody. Some of them are going to have the slings as well, which is going to speed up our hunting and make it so we don't have near as many animals escaping. Ooh, cave line, spooky. But okay, we really can't do anything else until we gather more resources, and I'm not gonna make you guys watch all this. What I'm gonna do is start moving the village. I'm just gonna speed through this, and I'm gonna start rearranging the village to how I want it, but there's no reason for you guys to sit and watch. So I'll either do a speed through on this, or we'll be back whenever I've got everything moved. Alright, well, I was in the process of moving everything over, and something came up, and I wanted to show you guys how to counter this problem. If you can see all these little frowny faces on the villagers, when they have stuff like that, it makes them move extremely slowly. So they're going very slow. During this process of shifting everything from the village over, we have received 12 people now that we have, and also we've got 14 knowledge. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over here, and first thing is get spirituality, which was the next thing we needed. I should have got it while I was moving the village, but I wanted you guys to see. So we'll click on spirituality. Now what this does, it allows us to place totems. So it unlocks the construction of totem structures, which helps with keeping morale high in the settlement. And so what this does, it allows me to go on here, and as you can see over here in the spiritual tab, you can click on there, and there's 2 different totems you want to build. Now you want to build both of these, and the reason for that is if somebody goes to 1 and prays or whatever it is they do at the totem, it doesn't work again a second time for a while. So for right now, just to get this done, I'm gonna stick 2 over here by the fire, by the hearth, and that allows these people, as soon as these are built, let me put it at high priority for each of these. As soon as these are built, everybody over here with the little frowny face that's moving extremely slow, they can come over to these and get happy. And I'll go ahead and speed it up and let them get built right quick, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Because once they're built, the people use these as, I guess in modern terms you would call it gaming or church, or anything that lets you relax and boosts morale. So once they get these built, you will see the people with red above their heads that have the little red frowny faces come over here and use these to actually increase their happiness. And as soon as we get these built, I'll cut back. Okay, here we are, we're back, and as you can see, there's a guy right here. Let me go ahead and click on the camera for him, and it'll take us down to a view where we can, well, it was supposed to take us down to a view where we could actually see him. He's back here in the back, and he's actually on this totem doing his little prayer thing. As you can see, this one's red, his is now orange, and it will continue to go up until he is happy again. So you really have to have these built in order to, oh, there we go, we can spin around, in order to keep your people happy. Boom, it just went up another notch. So this guy is starting to get happy by praying at his little totem over here. So that's what those are for, and they keep your villagers from being slow and unproductive. So alright, they should have this one built soon, and I'm going to continue to move the village around, and as soon as I get everything over there, we'll kick back off with moving on to the next level. Alright, well, here we are, we're back, finally have everything moved over. This is the area that everything was before, and it's all been shifted over here to this area. You see, we have our block style housing all set up, and we've got 2 more houses, in fact, that are being made. I did mess up right here. One thing I want to point out so that you don't make the same mistake is I did not leave a gap between these storage. In the houses, you can put them right next to each other and people can still walk between, but unfortunately with the storage tents, they can't walk between. So unfortunately, they're having to go around to do stuff, and that was an oversight on my part. But I did get everything moved over. We moved the hearth over, we moved the crafter over. I went ahead and put the totems over here right behind, and if you're wondering why these don't line up, these have to be offset a little bit. So the skins dryer, and then we have all of these food dryers. And what I also did is I went ahead and over here I put up a hunting sign. And what this is, I think I explained it last video, is anything that comes in this area, my people will hunt. I finally have enough people. I've got them up to 17, so they can hunt pretty much anything. You typically don't want to set this up early game, because if a mammoth or something dangerous comes through here, your people can be killed. But I have enough of a population now, I can go ahead and let them hunt whatever comes into this area. Now, to go on to the next part, we will look up here, and during all that actually took a long time to get going. So while I was moving everything over, we gained 32 knowledge. That's right, 32 knowledge. So just in the process of shifting everything over, people were still hunting, gathering everything, and it gathered up all this knowledge. So we have enough knowledge to complete everything here in the Paleolithic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and unlock tanning. Now what tanning does, it allows you to produce leather, and you're going to need leather with various other items that we're going to come across later. So it is something you want to get started. Now the first thing you want to do as soon as you open up that tanning is you want to go ahead and click here on work area, and you're going to want to collect tannin. Now what your tannin is, it's used in leather making, and certain trees produce tannin. So you're going to want to go ahead and take your circle and run it around things and find yourself a nice good group of trees that have tannin. I'm not going to worry about these trees over here close by, because I plan on clearing those out. So I'm going to come over here to an area that I'm not going to clear out the trees and put down my flag. So now when tannin's available, and I believe it's only available, let me check, collect tannin, and I believe it's only available in spring. It might also be summer, but so you want that down so when it's seasonal, they will go and collect the tannin. Now production wise, we're going to want to create a tanner. So what a tanner does, it takes raw skins and it produces leather. So I save space over here just to put that. So now we have our dry skins going over here. I'm gonna go ahead and take one of these away, and the reason for that is you don't want your every skin you get made into dry skins. So I'm just gonna leave one set up for now so that it doesn't take away all the skins, because I do want some of the skins coming over here to the tanner. Now you can't put dry skins into the tanner to have them produce. You have to put fresh skins that you just got into the tanner, and so you really want to be careful with that. Now the other thing that we have up here available is our dog. For dog domestication, as I said before, they protect your village. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and what that is, we'll see down here, it allows dogs to slowly come to the settlement and help protect it. Now, while I was going through and moving everything, you guys didn't get to see, but there was actually a wolf attack. It's very rare, and usually your people can handle it easily, but a wolf actually wandered across this field and came over here and attacked one of my villagers. Now, the villagers all gathered together and killed the wolf, but if you have dogs, dogs will keep the wolves at bay. So if any wolf comes over here, or a saber-toothed cat comes over here and they attack anybody in my village, the dogs will then attack that animal and keep them away, keep them at bay, and keep the village protected. But that is getting past all of the first stuff, and as you can see, we've still got 23, so we can jump straight into the Mesolithic, but I think I'm going to leave that for the next episode. What I'm going to try to do from now on, I had split this episode into two, because when you're first getting started, there's a lot more detail you need to go into. With the rest of the videos, I will just go step by step on each of these different eras and show you how to get through. But so for now, with the last video, we made it all the way to our first winter. With the second video, I showed you how to go ahead and set up your village to prepare for future events, because in the future, when we do block all this stuff off, we're going to want it as productive as possible. And so this leaves us over here on this side, this leaves us plenty of room right here to go ahead and put more housing in, because as this village grows, right now we've got 17, we've got room for 30, and look at that, we're at 90% on welfare, so that is outstanding. So as the village grows, I want to make sure I leave room to put in more houses. Now down the road, after we get our village, I'll show you why you don't have to have everything inside the village boundaries, inside the walls, but that's for a future episode. But you want the majority of your things in here, and I don't know, maybe before I come back for the next episode, I might go ahead and readjust this stuff right here so I can leave a little gap in there, because I do want these guys to be able to access everything over on this side. So I'll see how that goes, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video, if you got something out of it, please go down and leave a like. It really helps the channel, and it lets me know. I can't tell just by views. People may come on and just see what's going on and then leave and not like the video or not get anything out of it. So if you leave a like, it lets me know that the video was helpful to people, and I'll continue to make these. Leave a comment if you have something, a bit of advice that you would like to give. Feel free down in the comments to let me know if there's a more efficient way that you know of. Let other people in the comments know if you found something that can help them, and yeah, just let me know what's happening. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if so, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.
This is X's outro. Don't forget to like and subscribe.